release today, I'll be reading Big Bad Villain Meets Little Hero by Leah_Olivia. This is the first work in Villain Dadzawa that at the moment has 3 works that I will be doing at different times. I will be doing the whole series, of course. Yeah. Here's the summary. You're going to work hard to be a good hero. Yeah, I'll do my super hardest to be the bestest hero, he cried out enthusiastically, head bobbing quickly. I look forward to that day then, the man said simply, something in him placated to see the child's spirit alive and burning strong. I'm sure you'll be a great enough pro to arrest me, little hero. The child beamed at the nickname before green brows furrowed in confusion. Arrest you? I'm a villain, you know. Or, villain shouta acquires a baby hero. Surely this is not a good idea. Well, guess what? Shouta gives no shits. This is how they meet. King of villains, red-eyed demon of Masutafu, cold-hearted killer. Shouta was called many things. He didn't care for titles. None of them mattered. They didn't influence nor hold any control over his actions. He has long disregarded what society deems as right and wrong, acceptable and not. Who is to say what he does was good or bad? What made their judgment gospel and misled? And his misled? What made their judgment gospel and his misled? It didn't matter. He decided long ago, vowing that no one would hold any control over him. But apparently he was also not in control of his own actions, because he could not tell you what possessed him to get in between a tussle in between kids. It wasn't like he had to do much. It seems a grown man dropping off a building was all it took to send a bunch of kids running. Who knew? Thank you, mister, a small voice spoke up. Shouta turned to find himself face to face with a small child with impossibly huge green eyes. Are you a hero? You look familiar. Your eyes were red, and your hair was floating. Is that your quirk? Do you— Oh! The green child exclaimed, cutting off his own excited rambling. I'm sorry, that was rude. My name is Ip. Shouta was quick to slap a hand over the kid's mouth. Jesus Christ! Where was this kid's self-preservation? Weren't they taught of stranger danger or whatever? Don't go giving your name out to strangers, problem child. It's dangerous, the villain chided lightly, feeling a little ironic that he, of all people, was doing this. The small child narrowed stubborn green eyes thoughtfully, 2 small hands pulling Shota's hand away from his face. But you helped me, he told the man, head tilting in confusion. Do you suddenly know me because I helped you once? Shouta questioned, an eyebrow raised quizzically. He sure hoped the kid was smart enough to agree. Thankfully, the child seemed to understand what he was getting at and pouted at being chastised. Yeah. Why were they bothering you anyways, kid? Oh, the kid deflated at the question, the sass and wide-eyed confidence only a child could possess seemingly evaporating into the cold night's air, leaving him fidgeting nervously in place. We had to choose what we wanted to be when we grew up today. I told everyone in class that I wanted to become a hero. They got angry, said I couldn't become a hero because I don't have a quirk. Geez, kids needed little to nothing to be cruel. You know that's not true, right? It's not. Anyone with the right spirit and hard work can become a hero. And wow, does that sound ironic coming from the king of villains' mouth. A quirk is a tool. Not having one just means you'll have to work harder than others. Shouta paused, raising a questioning brow at the kid who just about sprouts stars in his eyes. You're going to work hard to be a hero? Yeah, I'll do my super hardest to be the bestest hero, he cried out enthusiastically, head bobbing quickly. I look forward to that day then. The man said simply, something in him placated to see the child's spirit alive and burning strong. I'm sure you'll be a great enough pro to arrest me, little hero. The child beamed at the nickname before green brows furrowed in confusion. Arrest you? I'm a villain, you know. Aizawa revealed, grinning a little wildly, intrigued to the little kid's reaction, unable to help himself from teasing the soon-to-be hero. Just a little. A really, really bad guy. You are? The child asked, eyes wide yet unafraid. Instead, he looked even more confused. But you're nice to me. No one's nice to me after Mama died. And well, doesn't that make Shouta want to maim somebody? Since then, their encounters were far and in between. Always brief, and never more than a polite acknowledgement of each other's presence. The boy always pricked up when they bumped into each other, but the villain was careful not to allow them to be too closely associated with the other, aware of his status and the dangers that come with it, to himself and those around him. The boy looked about to burst into tears the first time Shouta pointedly ignored him and tried to walk away. That Shouta panicked and had to pull him into a quiet alley and explain the circumstances. The child was unhappy about it, but understood to a certain degree at least, and agreed to keep his distance. Shouta could relate, though. Slightly disappointed he couldn't check up on the kid more often. Despite that, he settled for occasionally seeing the kid around, know that he was alive and well. Well, not well. Too many times he's seen the kid bruised and injured, but held himself back from meddling and interrogating the little thing. They had a deal in place to keep him safe, after all. Plus, every time they so much as see each other, the boy lights up like nothing's wrong in the world. Now, a familiar figure on the edge of a 13-story roof, Shouta looked back on all those years and wondered if it was the right call. Hello, little hero, the villain greeted carefully, not wanting to startle the boy standing on the precarious edge of the roof. He deliberately made him sure to keep his footfalls heavy to alert the kid of his approach, but the small figure didn't move from his perch. He only spoke once. Shouta stopped to stand beside him. I'm not a hero, the kid corrected emotionlessly, his gaze fixed ahead into the city below, not bothering to look at his newly gained company. I'll never be a hero. He said it like it was final, like it was given, like after so long he finally believed it. Shouta had never seen a kid so defeated. It sounded wrong. Kids should be filled with unrealistic dreams, hopes for the future, and an unreasonable amount of sugar, and despite the years that have passed, the screen-head still had a lot. It had too much growing up to do. Yeah. What do you say? Why do you say that? Nobody believes in me. He sounded too grown, too broken for his age. Then, even quieter, how can you help others if they don't even believe you can? They're wrong, Shouta disagreed, quick and firm. It was the truth, after all, that prompted the boy to tilt his head to look at Aizawa for the first time tonight. And why does it matter? If you have the power to help someone, then you can. No one can take that away from you, can they? Green eyes, duller than Shouta had ever seen them, seemed to scan the villain for a moment, before his face softened, the defeat underneath remaining. You're a villain, he said softly. The worst in Japan, Aizawa agrees easily, intrigued when the boy doesn't seem surprised at his confession. And I think if there were ever a hero to defeat me, it would be you. Really? The kid scoffed, sarcastic, as he gestured down at himself. Well, with the right training and hard work, I'd say you have a pretty good chance. I can help you with that. No big deal, Shouta reasoned. He meant it as well. The kid was smart and eerily observant. With some bulk to his skin and bones and combat training, he would be a hell of a hero. It would definitely not be easy, but the kid had the heart. Emerald eyes stared at him again, before realization seemed to slowly dawn on him that the man in front of him was dead serious. Tears started to pool, green emerald eyes becoming glassy before a scoff of laughter tore out his throat, silent tears finally falling, and Shouta panicked. You're going to help me become a hero? He asked incredulously, voice wobbly, laughing through the tears that wet his cheeks, still rounded with baby fat, reminding the man of how young the boy in front of him was when the world decided to break him. Yes? He didn't mean it to sound like a question.